Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located on Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm special, north specials, share specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it also can meet the Chihuahua, Moneman number 3.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy. Star Insurance Group of Opelika, Auburn, Montgomery, and Greenville. With all of life's demands, buying insurance is probably low on your list. Luckily, there's someone who's looking out for you and putting your needs first. A trusted friend is right around the corner. The team at Star Insurance can provide you with great protection with a personal touch. When it comes to understanding your needs, you want someone who can listen with understanding and care. You want professional advice with a personal experience? Whether it's business, farm, home, or auto, their team can help. They're not just agents, they're members of the community. Shepherd Homeworks, established in 2004, headquartered in beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, serving East Alabama, Lake Martin, and West Georgia. At Shepherd Homeworks, we specialize in custom cabinets and millwork built in our very own cabinet shop. Contact Stephen Shepherd at 334-234-1180 to make your dreams become reality. And go Rebels! Lafayette True Value, located on the Highway 50 bypass in Lafayette, is the only resource for your home improvement projects. Behind every project is a True Value. James Allen and his staff proudly support the Chambers Academy Rebels. And James Allen thanks you for shopping local.
Hey Rebel fans, Pastor Dave here from Lafayette Heights Baptist Church. We're excited again to be partnering with Chambers Academy and the Rebel football team for the 24 football season this year. At Lafayette Heights, we exist to be a biblically faithful, gospel-centered fellowship of disciple-making disciples. And if you don't have a local church, we would invite you to come to Lafayette Heights and find a place where you could be encouraged spiritually and a place where your whole family could be loved and cared for. Go Rebels!
State Farm agent Mike Spears is your local and trusted insurance agent. Contact Mike Spears at 334-864-8772 for all of your insurance needs, home, auto, life, and more. You can also stop by Mike's office and see him at 401 South Lafayette Street, Lafayette, Alabama, on the 4-lane. State Farm agent Mike Spear, proud supporter of Rebel Athletics. Go Rebels! Isaac Horton, proud supporter of Chambers Academy, would like to thank you for your support in the coming election. Go Rebels! Newman's Farm Supply, located downtown on the square in Lafayette. Contact them at 334-864-7006. Family owned and operated since 2011, Newman's carries feed for all of your animals, Tucker Milling, Sports Mix, Value Pack, along with deer feed, corn, hay rolls, alfalfa bales, pine and wheat straw. Newman's is also an FFL dealer. Newman's also reminds everyone to get their CA gun raffle tickets. Raffle starts November 1st. DTA, Daniel Towing and Automotive. Need a tow? Need some mechanical work? Contact Lee and Sandy Daniel at 334-863-4252. Serving East Alabama and West Georgia. You call, we haul. DTA, Daniel Towing and Automotive. Proud supporters of Rebel Athletics. DTA Towing.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show, live from Monty Albon 3 on the north side of Lafayette. We are sponsored by Farmers and Merchants Bank, and we certainly appreciate all their support. Tonight, as usual, we have Mr. Howard running the show, being our quality director and producer. And as always, again, we have my partner, Chester Carter. Chester, I am really glad you're here, my friend.
Hey, Sid, it's great to be here. Great crowd tonight. I got some special guests coming up here in the second segment. That's going to be exciting to talk to them and see how things are going for them at CA.
Looking forward to that.
But, yeah, we have a great amount of information to cover from last week's victory. And a very impressive victory against Crenshaw Christian Cougars. And we'll talk about how we play out to finish the end of the season, regular season. Then we'll get a little glimpse into the first round of the playoffs here at home for Chambers.
Sounds great, man. Look, it was a dominating win. And, you know, you and I always talk about early on the keys to the game and what we're looking for and what we're expecting. And, you know, we always come back to what the coaches say, dominate the line of scrimmage, and there was not a doubt. That got established early. You know, Chet, we kicked the ball, we received the ball, as we have the last several games, and scored, and then turned around and scored really quickly, taking control of that game right away.
Oh, yeah, the defense is stepping up immediately on their first series out there and stopping the opposing team at will and, I mean, limiting them to any or no offense pretty much in the first half for each team last 2 weeks. Been very impressive on the defense, and the defense has just continued to gel and get better throughout the week since the beginning of the season.
That's no doubt about that, man. And, you know, we talked about it at length, but we have now moved to one more game in the season. You know, we're 8-1. We finish off at Abbeville next week, and we have secured our 9th region in a row, so we know we've got a home game, and then if we win that, we've got another home game before the title game. So things are looking positive. They're looking in the right directions for us, and we need to just go take care of business at Abbeville.
That's right. It's been a very quick season. It just remember like yesterday we were heading over to Starkville for that game, and now we're looking at the last game of the regular season. So it goes by in a flash, and it's been an exciting season to watch these kids grow up from that first game at Starkville to where they stand today. So it is just a awesome thing to watch those guys perform and each week in out and get better each week.
There's no doubt about it. You know, the domination like we talk about in the last several games, you know, we always struggle when we have that home game and we're going to do those interviews. It's kind of hard to make those choices when basically everybody on the field is doing outstanding and playing really just fantastic football, smart football, and making great athletic plays.
Yes. So to recap there, Chambers won against Crenshaw Christian last Friday at Torbert Allen Field, 44-14. The game was pretty much at hand in the end of the first quarter, and then the scores that the Cougars put up were later in the game. So Chambers sits atop first place there in the East 3A region at 4-0, so that does cement them with a home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And this week we'll wrap up the regular season with a trip down to Abbeville to meet the Generals. These were a very common opponent back in the day when we were in single A and 2A. They are currently in 2A, so this is a non-region game. This just wraps up our regular season series here with them. Actually, the series, Chambers leads the overall series with the Generals 17-11, so hopefully Rebels can add another victory onto their series lead right there. Last year, we met them here at home for a very impressive 64-0 victory. So they'll have that on the back of their minds, thinking about that loss they had up here last year as we head down there for the final game.
And if I'm not mistaken, even at 2-6, I think they're actually in the first round of the playoffs this year as well.
Yes, they did make the playoffs in their region, and they are the 4th place in the region. So they'll match up against, I want to say, South Choctaw.
Yeah, I think that's right.
In their bracket over there. So as we look into the playoffs, I think Dave's going to throw a graphic up there to show where things work out for us in that first round of the playoffs. Chambers will play Clark Prep in the first round here at home. That's a Friday night game.
Right.
From that point forward, the games will probably fall on a Thursday, so make sure you mark your calendars appropriately for the second round playoff game as well as the final.
And we will also adjust the coaches show. We'll remind people, we'll do some posts about this, but we will be holding the coaches show on a Tuesday evening. So that's the only major change to those two events, the game on Thursday and the coaches show on Tuesday.
Yep. So as we get more information on the actual time, we know the time will be at 7 o'clock, but once we get that permanently etched in stone for round 2 and the championship game, we'll get that out there for the coaches show here at Monte Alban. So,
and folks, just briefly, let me tell you, the routine here. Chet and I are going to talk about the in-game action, and we're going to cover some stats. We're going to just give a little bit more insight into Abbeville game and what's coming up. Then in our third segment, we're going to introduce and visit with some very special guests. The Chambers Academy dance team is here, and we are incredibly excited to have all these young ladies here, and we're going to sit down with 4 of them and do a little interview session. So we're looking forward to that. And then from there, we'll visit with our coaches. I think Coach Jackson might not make it tonight, so we'll have Coach Nesmith, and then we'll close out with Coach Jackson. Coach Allen, excuse me.
Yeah, so it's going to be a nice action-packed evening here. Glad to have the CA dance team here to talk to them. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with some details and some stats from the Crenshaw game.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
All right, folks, and welcome back here to the Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show. In this segment here, we're going to dive into some details here from the Crenshaw game last Friday at Torbert Allen Field. It was an exciting and emotional senior night. It was, getting out there and honoring all the seniors that have been here for this year. They also recognized the cheerleaders and the dance team seniors before the game there on Friday. And it was, the seniors are excited, but they also realize it is their last regular season home game as well.
It was a big night, absolutely, and it was shocking to us. There were so many people out there, we kind of didn't know that count was going to be that big.
Yeah, so it was a nice ceremony they had for them, and congratulations to all those seniors for making it this far. So we'll jump into some information about the game. The Chambers offense, like you said earlier, won the toss and accepted the ball first.
Yeah.
And in less than 1 minute, the Rebels drove down the field, and it was topped off by an Eli Wharton 40-yard touchdown run, set the score at 8-0. One series later, Chambers drives a short field because the defense just shut down the Cougars and then worked with a very short field. The punt was a short one. I didn't think it left Cougar territory. And then T.J. Daniel finishes off the drive with a short touchdown run and makes that 16-0 at that point. The following series, the defense with Aiden Anglin had a very interesting fumble takeaway. On that to get the ball back. It was an interesting call on that one. Aiden intercepted the ball. The receiver became the defender, forced the fumble, then Aiden somehow got it back for a recovery.
And let me make one quick correction there. Whenever I was making that call, I thought I saw Luke pop up, but he had been trailing the play. Sam Smith actually knocked that ball free for Aiden to pad his stats and get an interception and a fumble. And I've been kidding Aiden about that, and he's a really good sport about it. Just outstanding play, and congratulations on that big play by Aiden.
That's right. So next off the series showed the Chambers just continued to show their fight. You know, after a couple of plays on that series, they had some penalties and some loss for yard plays. But then Landon Hand just gashed the Cougar defense for a 70-yard touchdown down into the red zone, and then Luke Tarver finished off the drive with a 19-yard touchdown run, and that ended roughly the first quarter scoring at 23-0. Second quarter got underway and with a 24-yard touchdown run by Eli Wharton, and that extended the Rebel lead out to 30-0.
Yeah.
After a 3-and-out by Crenshaw, Luke Tarver then takes the ball and rips a 30-yard touchdown run on the first play of that series and extended the Rebel lead out to 37-0, and that took us into halftime.
And you know, Chet, if we look back on that play, it was like a blue wall. There was an unbelievable line of blockers, and I don't think Luke was touched. I think he just turned on the Jets, outran the secondary, and it was one of the best plays I've ever seen our offense put together.
Yeah, there's some of the plays that the running backs weren't touched for 25, 30 yards till he got downfield.
Yeah, they were getting into the secondary before anybody had a shot at it.
Yeah. They had a great halftime show by the varsity cheerleaders, the dance team, and the Rebelettes. You know, they do such a nice job at halftime.
Absolutely.
And it was also nice to see the alumni get recognized when they came back on campus. The class of 94 and 2014 was there.
Who's clapping? Who's doing all that?
David was in one of those classes. We won't tell you which one. You can figure that one out. The second half came about. It brought a running clock to the game. Yeah. The third quarter saw the Cougars break through, scoring with a 63-yard touchdown pass to set the score at 37-7. Chambers ended the third quarter with a 34-yard touchdown run by Landon Hand and pushed the score out to 44-17. And then Crenshaw finally tacked on another touchdown to get to the final score of Chambers 44, Crenshaw 14.
And Chet, you know, as usual, we got a lot of the twos on the field. They got some really effective playing time. Did a great job, I thought, managing this Crenshaw offense and defense. And, you know, I'll mention this. We'll talk a little bit more in another segment about some specifics, but our kicking game was really on track. Had some major improvements, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit.
That's right. For some stats here, the Rebel offense had 489 yards of total offense, 52 yards passing. Landon Hand was 3 for 4 for 52 yards, 1 touchdown. Eli Wharton had 1 catch for 25 yards and 1 touchdown. Cameron Gooden had 1 catch for 7 yards. T.J. Daniel, 1 catch for 20 yards. The rushing attack was on fire last Friday, 437 yards. Luke Tarver had 8 carries for 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. Landon Hand, 4 carries for 133 yards, 1 touchdown. Jacob Norgard, 3 carries, 84 yards. Eli Wharton had 2 carries for 42 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. And T.J. Daniel, 3 carries for 36 yards and 1 touchdown. Some impressive rushing numbers there week in and week out for that squad right there. And, you know, if one steps down or out for an injury, the other one steps up, they don't miss a beat.
Well, you just saw, multidimensional talent, too. You saw power runners, you saw speed runners. Jacob get outside and just blow everybody away with his speed. And then we saw him also take it in the middle. We just saw everybody excel. And, like Coach is always saying, you got to have answers on defense. There just weren't many answers Friday night for the Russian attack.
But the Chambers defense had some answers. They had at least 3 interceptions to disrupt that Crenshaw passing attack. And then the CA defense just shut down everything that the Cougars had in their playbook. On defense, Luke Tarver led the defense with 7 tackles, 1 pass breakup. Colton Fuller, 6 tackles, 1 interception. Spencer Newman, 5 tackles. TJ Daniel, 5 tackles, 1 interception. Aiden Anglin, 2 tackles, 1 interception. Drew Shepard, 3 tackles. Tucker Thrower, 4 tackles. AJ Knowles, 2 tackles. Bryce Modling, 2 tackles, and 1 pass breakup. And the defense currently is only allowing, on average, 11 points per game this season. Some impressive numbers right there.
It really is, and I'll tell you, I said this to Coach when we were interviewing him Friday night. I'm almost out of words. I'll tell you this defense, and we just keep repeating it. It's very hard to name players on special plays because there's 4 or 5 guys around the ball. The defense is reacting well. They're so technically sound that, it's just really impressive. And physically, they are just dominating. I mean, frontline linebackers and the secondary are playing just at an extremely high level. So we congratulate Coach Nesmith and that defense. They're just playing lights out.
Yep. And you have some information here to talk about the players of the game that we went over.
I do, and let's get right into that. Folks, we usually do an offensive player of the game and a defensive player of the game before we talk to Coach Allen after home games. But this week we decided to honor our seniors. And so let me just read off our seniors. I don't want to leave anybody out. We had senior Tyler Popwell, Luke Tarver, TJ Daniel, Jonathan Caulfield, Aiden Anglin, Jesse Barton, and Jacob Norgard were our seniors. And we let those guys just kind of introduce themselves around the room and answer a couple of questions. And look, that's just an incredible bunch of players. Coach, you mentioned about how there's 9 region wins, and it's been across a lot of players. Pretty special group of seniors, and boy, it was a nice way to send them out.
Yes, it was.
So we just had those guys recognized. I think it might have been completely impossible to pick an offensive and defensive player, so that worked really well for us. Our impact player of the game is the only thing we haven't announced yet, and let's do that right now. The impact player of the Crenshaw Christian game is Kason Nix. Case is our kicker and was completely perfect on PATs during the game. So congratulations, Case, an outstanding job. I think he's over a little bit of an injury bug and really did a great job Friday night.
Yeah, it's good to see him improve week over week and get out there and continue to fight through those injuries and get back out to where he needs to be. So congratulations, Kaysen, on being this week's impact player of the game for the Crenshaw game. Again, the Rebels just continued to dominate on so many levels this past week. And it was just a great sight to see. We're going to tune everything up, head down to Abbeville tomorrow to finish up the regular season.
Right.
And then we get into playoff action. So it should be an exciting, hopefully, 3 weeks here, at Chambers.
I think all the coaches have said to us last year, talking about playoff football is different. Speed's different. Hitting is different. It's like breathing is different. Everything about the playoffs changes the players and the environment they're in. So it's a different level, and we're anxious to get there.
Yeah, we'll see Clark Prep, correct, in the first round there at Chambers. So they have a little bit of history with us recently. So we'll keep those guys on a close leash or a short leash with those guys. So, folks, we want to thank all of our sponsors again this year. Farmers and Merchants for sponsoring the show the entire year. Monty Albin, of course, for hosting us here up here. Taffney Nelson, she does all the game day graphics and photographs around campus. 2-3 Collective, the Blue Button. And we also want to remind everybody to check out the CA Sports Live YouTube page. Make sure you're subscribing to that to get notifications of any activity that we do here at Chambers on the Sports Live YouTube page. And also check out those shorts on the YouTube page. Kent Nelson does those for us, and they're nice short clips about some action that was in the game recently.
Trying to jazz up the whole program just a little bit.
Just a little
few
bit.
Changes.
Yep. So, folks, we're going to take a quick break, and then Sid's going to come back and talk to our CA dance team. So we'll be back in a moment.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farmer special, North specials, sherry specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it also can meet the Chihuahua, Moneman number 3.
Star Insurance Group of Opelika, Auburn, Montgomery, and Greenville. With all of life's demands, buying insurance is probably low on your list. Luckily, there's someone who's looking out for you and putting your needs first. A trusted friend is right around the corner. The team at Star Insurance can provide you with great protection with a personal touch. When it comes to understanding your needs, you want someone who can listen with understanding and care. You want professional advice with a personal experience? Whether it's business, farm, home, or auto, their team can help. They're not just agents, they're members of the community. Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show. We are here with our special guest tonight. This is the Chambers Academy dance team. And we also want to recognize the dance team coach in the back, Miss Sierra Hornsby. Ms. Hornsby, thank you very much. We appreciate everything you do for CA as well. I'm going to start off by introducing the 2 young ladies seated beside me, and then we'll do a couple other things. So we have, let me make sure I get my names right, Lila Conway. Lila, welcome.
Thank
and
you.
beside me, we also have Autumn Blackall. Autumn, welcome. And folks, Lila's going to do me a little bit of help here. She's going to help me with introducing our guests behind us. So I'll turn it over to you, Autumn.
All right, this is Marley Harrelson.
Lila, I'm sorry. God, my bad. Lila.
And this is Caroline Pitchford, our manager.
Wonderful. Okay, now let's just get back and do a little bit of conversation here. So Lila, how long have you been at CA?
I've been at CA since the 8th grade.
8th grade, so you're a veteran CA person. That's great. And how long have you been a member of the Chambers Academy dance team?
I was a part of the original team last year, and I came back this year, and now I'm captain.
Wonderful. Glad you mentioned that because I might have forgotten it. Thank you very much. And tell us this. I asked this question of our cheerleaders last week, and I just want you to have the opportunity, and I think you guys had this earlier so you can think about it. Tell us your most exciting or most memorable event since you've been a part of the dance team.
The most memorable event that I've ever had on the dance team was probably getting to dance Get Big at one of the games at halftime. That was probably my favorite.
Outstanding. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Now, Autumn, let's shift this back over to you here just a second. How long have you been at CA?
I have attended CA since the 7th grade.
7th grade, so you're also a veteran. And how long have you been on the dance team?
I was a part of the original dance team,
Okay.
and I returned as co-captain.
Okay, we have our captain and our co-captain, and thank you both so much for being here and doing that. I got one more question, Autumn. Same question. What is your most memorable event since you've been a part of the dance team?
My most memorable event would have been when we went to the Southern Union Dance Camp.
Okay.
And we were just able to learn a lot of different styles of dance and perform.
Great, that's great. Folks, these young ladies do an outstanding job. We are so thrilled that they're part of our program. They work hard. Listen, we always talk football, and our football team works hard. Our cheerleaders and our dance squad also work hard. And look, do yourself a favor. Anytime you can come out and watch this group of young ladies perform, make sure you do it. Ladies, thank you so much. We are so glad you're here. Folks, we're going to take a short break and come back with another segment of dance team members in just a minute.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm specials, north specials, share specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it also. And also can meet the Chihuahua. Moneman number 3.
Welcome back, everyone, for our second segment here tonight involving the Chambers Academy dance team. We have some fresh faces up here, and we're going to do kind of the same segment that we did earlier. I'm going to start off here on my right. This is my friend, Kayla Moroccan. Kayla, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Wonderful. And on my left is Madison. I almost called you Madeline. Madison Davis. Madison, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
And you're going to give me a little bit of assist tonight with our dance team members behind me.
Yes, sir. So behind me we have Abby Tenpenny, and then we have Kayla Wharton.
Outstanding. Thank you all for being here. It is a pleasure to have everyone join us. Okay, you guys saw the opening segment. You saw the question. So, Kayla, I'll just go over you. How long have you been at Chambers Academy?
I have been at Chambers Academy since K4.
Okay, so far you're in the lead. Outstanding. And how long have you been on the dance team?
I'm a original, so this will be my second year.
Outstanding. Great. Congratulations on that. All right, let's just come back here. Madison, same questions. How long have you been at CA?
I have been at CA since my ninth grade year, so this is my third year at Chambers.
Wow, outstanding. And tell me, how long have you been on the dance team?
This is actually my first year on the dance.
Outstanding. Glad to hear. Okay, now let question out. Get that out of the way. I'll come back to it. Kayla, switch back over here. Thinking back memorable events since you've been on the dance team.
It was definitely performing Get Big, because it was just so much fun to do with our team. It was just great.
That's outstanding. We really, listen, we see you guys work very hard, and we appreciate you so much. Madison, same question for you. I know they're kind of putting you on the spot, but we're not trying to. Tell me your most memorable event.
My most memorable event is probably our open house pep rally we had. We worked really hard on one of our dances, and we showed out with that, just our first pep rally. It was such a great opportunity.
That's great. And you guys, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. We love the effort and the energy, and you're just such a vital part of our entire program. Congratulations. I think this is the second full year of the dance team. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So to all you originals and all you new first-year people on the dance team, congratulations. You mean an awful lot to us.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate it. And folks, if you see these young ladies, make sure you congratulate all of them, because they work hard and they do a great job. And do the same with Miss Hornsby. She works awfully hard as well. So we're going to take another short break, and then Chet and I'll be back, and we'll move into some more football conversation.
Star Insurance Group of Opelika, Auburn, Montgomery, and Greenville. With all of life's demands, buying insurance is probably low on your list. Luckily, there's someone who's looking out for you and putting your needs first. A trusted friend is right around the corner. The team at Star Insurance can provide you with great protection with a personal touch. When it comes to understanding your needs, you want someone who can listen with understanding and care. You want professional advice with a personal experience? Whether it's business, farm, home, or auto, their team can help. They're not just agents, they're members of the community. Lafayette True Value, located on the Highway 50 bypass in Lafayette, is the only resource for your home improvement projects. Behind every project is a True Value. James Allen and his staff proudly support the Chambers Academy Rebels. And James Allen thanks you for shopping local.
Hey, Rebel fans, Pastor Dave here from Lafayette Heights Baptist Church. We're excited again to be partnering with Chambers Academy and the Rebel football team for the 24 football season this year. At Lafayette Heights, we exist to be a biblically faithful, gospel-centered fellowship of disciple-making disciples. And if you don't have a local church, we would invite you to come to Lafayette Heights and find a place where you could be encouraged spiritually and a place where your whole family could be loved and cared for. Go Rebels!
All right, folks, welcome back here to Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show. We have Coach Dillon here with us. Coach Dillon, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. How are y'all doing?
We're doing good.
Great, sir. Really good.
Good deal. Awesome.
Hope there's been no scary things happen at practice this week.
No scary things except for little Charlie Brook got a lot of candy, so that's pretty scary.
That means Dad and Mom got a lot of candy too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been digging into it a little bit.
That's always fair.
That's
Absolutely.
right. You got to always check it to make sure there's no razor blades.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
or anything
absolutely.
in there.
Any Reese's, especially those Reese's, they tend to have.
That's right. You got to double check those. So good stuff here. So folks, we're going to talk with Dillon about the defense and how it performed last week against Crenshaw. And then we're going to get a little look into tomorrow night versus Abbeville. So, Coach, kind of give us a perspective of what you saw, good and bad, from the Crenshaw outing, and we'll go from there.
I thought the kids played really well. I thought they executed the game plan really, really well. It's kind of sound like a broken record, but we dominated the game up front, and that's what we've talked about. That's where you win football games, is up front, and those guys absolutely controlled the line of scrimmage and forced them to try to throw the ball down the field, and then when they do that, we have to make plays on the back end, and the guys just doing a great job of understanding the coverages that we're in, and we didn't bust any coverages. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure we played pretty sound football against everything that they threw at us, and I thought we were the better team.
If you could go back and look at the team in Starkville to where we're at now at the end of the season, how much of a swing was it? 180? How much did it improve from that week one?
It's a long way, and I've gone back and watched that game several times, and second guess the decisions that you make, and it's easy to look back on something and say, oh, we should have done this, we should have done that, and there's a lot of things that I would have changed. Maybe not so much as personnel-wise, but we had a couple guys that were out of position. Bryce was playing corner that game, and Aiden was playing safety. And and we made the next week we made the jump because Aiden's playing so well at corner. He's covering so well at corner, and he's played that position, for 2 years now. And we made the jump putting Bryce there at safety. We don't like to. Safety is a pretty tough position to play for us for our defense, and that would have been a big thing that I would have changed. I would have made a difference in the game, but it would have been nice to know. We only had 2 games of film on them, and it would have been really helpful for us to have more film on them to see what they're really good at. So there was a lot of things that we would have changed, definitely.
Yeah, some of the things you talked about, like, being in phase with the receivers and being at the right spot at the right time, we can see where you guys have continued to coach on that each week in and week out. And we're sitting here looking at some of these stats where each week now we're listing interceptions.
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
I thought there was 4, but maybe I was thinking of a different game. But you got the defense and the secondary when they do get the quarterback a pass downfield, your secondary is right where they need to be at, and you can see that improve week in and week out.
Well, and I broke down the stats, game by game last week, and just teams cannot run the football against us. And so what are they going to do? They're going to try to expose us in the passing game, and so that's been a huge focus for us, is getting those guys more comfortable, getting them a lot of reps. Just getting them, the reps are huge for us. Being able to change some coverages. It's been a focus for us because we're so good up front to where we put all of our eggs in that basket. We're saying you're not going to be able to run them. We want somebody to try to run the ball against us, but on the back end, the guys are just playing phenomenal, and they're good groups, very, very smart group, and they understand exactly what we're trying to do, and they're playing a lot faster now than they did at the beginning of the year, and that comes with just being more comfortable with the scheme, what we're trying to do, and that just comes it's just more time, just extra time from week 1 to week 10. How far we've come a long ways. We've gotten a lot better, and that's been a big emphasis is the back end.
So, Coach, just thinking about what you're saying now, it seems to us as we watch this game, we talked about a while back about the guys having done the hard work of getting in position. So they really were technically sound. I mean, they were playing that technical side of the defense well, and now they are completing everything. I will tell you, I think we probably have 20 interceptions on the year. I need to go back and kind of do a little count, but I got to believe it's really close to that.
It's close. I think it's probably around 14, 15, somewhere up in there. Maybe a few more. Maybe 17.
Yeah.
Maybe 17 is the number that I had. But it's a lot. It's more than we've had in the years previous. And that's just, the guys are doing a great job up front getting pressure when,
Sure.
When we know the quarterback's going to throw it. When you take away the run game and you can do things that you wouldn't normally do. We can send an extra guy to heat up the quarterback and force bad throws.
Right.
A lot of these throws that we're intercepting is we're getting pressure when we need to get pressure. And the guys up front are doing a great job with that. We've done some stunts and some things that we change it up a little bit, and we'll bring pressure when we know that we can shut down the run game. That's our goal first and foremost every single week is to shut down the team from running the football against us. And when we do that, and we get them one-dimensional throwing the ball, then we can let the dogs eat a little bit up front and let them get after the quarterback, which is what they want to do. They want to get after the quarterback. They see all these guys in college and the professional levels, getting these sacks and stuff like that. That's what they want to do. But in order to do that, you must first stop them from being able to run the football, because when somebody can run the football against you, then you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
You don't know what's coming. And so that's obviously our focus every week.
And it looked like to us, and as we watch the guys, Coach, it's like the speed, it doesn't necessarily have to be the sack of the quarterback. That speed coming off the edge and up the middle at times, and when you get a linebacker who does some sort of stunt or that pressure, it has to stick in a quarterback's mind that says, okay, I can't run the ball.
Yep.
I'm going to get sacked. I got to throw the ball. And I think that has certainly helped. We have been getting bunches of interceptions. I know that in the last 3 games. They've just come in really big bunches, and I think that's pressure.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is. It's pressure, and it's the guys on the back end not having to key in on their run keys. That we know we're in a 3rd and long situation. They're not running the football, so we can get more depth on the back end. We can get tighter leverage, whether we're going inside or outside leverage. We can expand those things, which helps us on the back end, especially when the other team's got a lot of speed.
It looks like to me that everybody is doing just an outstanding job of communicating on the defense across the front, in the linebacker slot, and especially in the back. Guys just seem to be pointing. They seem to be talking.
Yeah.
They seem to be like when someone throws something crazy at us, like, a 3-2 split, there's no panic. There's no running around. We just slide. We just make our adjustments, get ready to cover the ball.
They do, and that's what you hit it on the head. Communication, especially on the back end. When we get our front set up, we get the guys set up front, and then we have to figure out what we're doing on the back end and how are we doing this to be sound against whatever they're trying to throw at us. And that's hard to do, and not a lot of teams do that. A lot of teams line up the same way every time, no matter what you're going to. And so you're vulnerable to this. what we're trying to do is we're trying to put ourselves in a situation to where we take away what you do best.
Right.
And that comes from communicating.
I think if you remember last Friday night, that's one thing Coach Allen said. We just take away certain parts of their game. The thing they want to do, this defense is taking it away. So they got to drop down to a thing they're not as comfortable with.
Absolutely.
And you can see it. You can see the pressure building on offensive teams as they play this CA defense.
Yeah, what we do is, we go through, or what I do is go through the game films, and I try to look at what they've done and what are they most successful at. What do they do that not only what are they doing that they are successful at, what are they doing that could give us problems for how we line up defensively. Right. And we try to take that away. And if you're able to take those things away that they are really, really good at, and make them rely on things that they're not as comfortable with, or make them pull new stuff out of their playbook that they may have not run in the games past, then they play slower, and we're still playing fast football.
Absolutely.
And that's a key. That's awesome. It's good stuff.
Well, we're getting ready to wrap up the regular season. As you know, is there anything on defense injury-wise? Everybody get out of the Crenshaw game
I think so. Yeah, everybody's good. I was very impressed with the way our guys played. Coming in, after the starters, some of our younger guys got to come in and got to play a lot of football, which is good stuff. You love to see that because those guys work really hard, like we've talked about in weeks past. So just really, really excited to see them going. But we want to play. We want to play some teams that are going to give us some problems, and that's what that's what we're hoping for every single week. So that's what we want that.
Well, speaking of playing, we got one more regular season. We're going tomorrow night. We'll go to Abbeville.
Yes, sir.
They are 2-6. Like we say a lot of times, there's nothing they'd like better than to beat us or play really well against us. I'm sure your guys will be ready. Anything you're going to be particularly cautious about with Abbeville?
Well, they got some speed. They got a couple of guys that can get out and run. They got a couple of good receivers and a good little running back. I think we're a little bit better than them up front. But when you got speed on the outside, things can happen.
Yep.
Like we was talking about it, me and Coach Allen, like with the Morgan game, they had that one kid that could really get with it and got Aiden a couple times. And so when other teams got speed, you got to be on your toes. You got to play with great discipline and great leverage. And so I think that could be a portion of what they do that gives us fits. But overall, I feel really comfortable with the game plan that we got going into this one. The guys feel really comfortable about about our assignments, and I think they're ready to play.
Yep, we'll be heading down that way alongside you guys for the 7 o'clock pick down there at Abbeville, looking for the 9th victory of the season and to finish the season strong as we head into the first round of the playoffs here at home. So, Coach Dillon, pleasure having you up here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow down in Abbeville,
yes,
folks.
Sir.
We're going to take a quick break and come back with Coach Allen.
Appreciate it very much.
State Farm agent Mike Spears is your local and trusted insurance agent. Contact Mike Spears at 334-864-8772 for all of your insurance needs, home, auto, life, and more. You can also stop by Mike's office and see him at 401 South Lafayette Street, Lafayette, Alabama, on the 4-lane. State Farm agent Mike Spear, proud supporter of Rebel Athletics. Go Rebels! Shepherd Homeworks, established in 2004, headquartered in beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, serving East Alabama, Lake Martin, and West Georgia. At Shepherd Homeworks, we specialize in custom cabinets and millwork, built in our very own cabinet shop. Contact Stephen Shepherd at 334-234-1180 to make your dreams become reality. And go Rebels! Isaac Horton, proud supporter of Chambers Academy, would like to thank you for your support in the coming election. Go Rebels!
Everyone, welcome back to the final segment here of the Chambers Academy Coaches Show. We're here with Coach Jason Allen. Coach, welcome as usual and as always. Let's talk a little bit about last Friday night. Again, you and I visited Friday night, but for our audience here tonight, tell us a little bit about your takeaways from the big victory over Crenshaw on senior night.
Yeah, I thought it was a great night. It was a great way to send our seniors out with a big win. We had a great crowd. The atmosphere was really good, and I thought our underclassmen really brought the intensity, and they played hard to try to give those guys the gift of a great senior night. And so I thought it was good. I thought we came out playing really well. You know, every single game this year, I think we really have come out ready to play. We haven't come out flat. And so that's something that I've been proud of, because I think that's a direct reflection of what we're doing during the week and how we're practicing, and the focus of our team. And I think our seniors have done a great job of making sure that our team is ready to play. And then from the standpoint, I thought it was really good that we got a lot of younger guys, some really good reps, meaningful reps that are going to help us down the road in our program.
Well, Coach, I thought it was really fitting for us to sit down with our 7 seniors, and we love sitting down with those guys. It is a great senior class with some really talented people, and also just good people. We enjoy visiting with them. They're very mature, they're very gentlemanly, and I think they're just truly excited, and I think they like playing football with each other, and they certainly like playing football for Chambers Academy.
Yeah, there's not many of them. You know, it's a small class for us of 7 seniors, but there's some really good players in there, and there's some really good kids.
Yeah.
And they've led our team fantastically all year, and made sure that our demeanor, that our mindset, that our focus was ready, and each week. And so I handed it to them, and I told those guys today, I said, this is your last regular season game this week, so these Friday nights are going by fast. And so what's your legacy going to be? And so I think that they have really made the most of their senior year.
Chet, I was going to ask Coach, you and I were talking about last week, you have secured the region, and do you count on your seniors to make sure everybody understands that's next week? We've got another game. Do you have any concerns with that with this team? How do you approach it?
Yeah, I've always just been that guy of this is the next one.
Right.
So let's just focus on it. Let's don't look ahead. We only get to play one day a week in football, and you got to be ready. Everybody knows what day is coming. It's coming on a Friday.
That's right.
Or unless it's a Thursday. And, I just always felt like that we got to focus on what we can control, which is that week's game. And I've never tried to look far ahead or prepare for the next opponent so that it would interfere with our ability to play that week. So yeah, it's been that's kind of how we're approaching it. We want to finish 9, and we would obviously like to be 10-0.
Sure.
We can't control that, so we really want to be 9-1 going into the playoffs.
And I think that should be, and I think it probably will be, because you mentioned it. There's not been a game that our guys have not come out, and I think come out really fired up and ready to play. I can't think of a single one of the 9 games that they haven't been in that mindset coming out. And I fully, like you, expect them to do that and put a close on this season tomorrow night. We'll go down to Abbeville. I said this to Coach Nesmith. They'd like nothing better than to play well against us or to try to beat us on their home field. So, we're going to go down, and I'm sure we'll be ready to take care of business.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be ready to play. One of our former assistants, Matt Mims, is the head coach there, and he's done a really good job with that program. I think they're improved over last year. They got more athletes on the field, and, they're going to be jacked up to play us at their place. And, I think everybody gets ready to play us, and so we kind of have a little rivalry going with Abbeville. So I think that it should be an exciting game, and so we're excited to go down there and see how we play on the road for the first time in a while.
Yeah, and hasn't that been nice? Because we opened up on the road for quite a while. It's been wonderful being at home. Coach, just something that I did this week, and I know you and I briefly talked about it. If you think about the number of wins. I went back and looked, and this is the AHSAA history. They have us down, they have you down in your coaching career, 187 wins, 85 losses, and 1 tie. And, Coach, that's a 68% winning percentage. Congratulations, that's pretty awesome.
Thank you. Well, I remember the 85 losses and the 1 tie.
How did I know you were going to bring that up?
But I know exactly where the tie was, and I was glad to get it that night. But, you know, I've never been into those numbers type thing, but it means a lot to me because there's a lot of really good people that have gone into that. That is not just something that I think Jason Allen is solely responsible for. I've had some really good assistant coaches and some really good players along the way. And there's no doubt the last 12 years have really padded my win-loss percentage because God has really blessed Chambers Academy. He's really blessed me. He's blessed our program, and I'm really proud of where our program is at right now. And so that's kind of how I feel about those. Maybe one day when I get through, I may look back at those numbers and
look at them a little closer
and maybe think a little more about it. But right now, I think the thing you got to do as a head coach is keep your head down and keep plowing.
Yeah, well, Coach, we knew you were going to say that. And look, I think just from a broadcasting standpoint, I think it's an important thing for us to keep track of. I know you don't focus on them an awful lot, but 187 wins and a 68% winning percentage is just truly outstanding. And we'll worry about numbers after we get this season gone. I know you're looking forward to finishing off the regular season, getting into this playoff run, and I'm sure that our goal was to win a championship when we started this year. Most everybody's was. So in the end, we'll see how those things shake out, and we'll go from there.
Coach, I got something for you real quick. You know, as we start to wrap up the year here, is there one word that you can kind of look back, or a couple words to go back and describe this season? You know, surprising, you know, energetic. What was something that really describes this season, the character of these kids?
You know, I think this has been a consistent season for us, very consistent with some of the years in the past, and the fact that, you know, we started out the season, it's very, very similar to last year in the fact that we lost the opening game mainly due to turnovers.
Right.
And then our team was able to refocus and rebound and regroup and believe in what we were doing and stay the course. And so I think the other word that I probably would think of when I think of this team is a steady improvement. I mean, like Coach said, we had some young guys on the back end.
Sure.
And they have gotten better and better. I think this is Coach Nesmith's best year as a defensive coordinator for us. He's just done a phenomenal job. Our defense is playing exceptionally well, and we've put up some really dominant numbers.
Yep.
We've intercepted a lot of footballs this year.
Yeah, we were just talking about those numbers, and they're gaudy. I mean, there's some big interception numbers, and it's across an awful lot of players, Coach. I mean, we got a lot of guys contributing. You know, I just always look at the defensive side of the ball from a technical standpoint as well as the aggression, and we have both. We have both those things working really well right now. Sometimes you can maybe play through some technical failures with just overall aggressive play, but this group is playing outstanding football.
Yep, absolutely, and that's a total credit to their coachability. They're extremely coachable. Coach Nesmith is very patient with them, and he just does a great job of accentuating their strengths and coaching the details of what we're trying to do. He understands our defensive scheme. When I say our defensive scheme, Coach Nesmith and I have been running the exact same thing defensively. Well, we've been running it for the last 10 years, but he's really developed a lot of it with me. And so our kids know our system from the junior high level up, and I think it just makes a huge difference. If you turn on the tape and watch us play defense, we look fast.
Yeah.
The reason we play fast is because we know what we're doing and we're confident in what we're doing.
I think that's true.
And so that makes all the difference in the world to me defensively.
Well, I'll add one other thing just as we get to the close here. I don't think our offensive team is playing very bad either. I think the offensive side of the ball is hitting on all cylinders. And, Coach, I love watching that offensive line. I love your quarterback play. I love watching your receivers and your tight ends blocking people to the ground. And I especially love that big list of running backs doling out punishment.
Yep. Well, you know, what do all the good teams have, Sid? All the good offensive teams in college football, all the good offensive teams in the NFL, all the good offensive teams that I see on tape on Friday nights, got really good players up front.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just call it what it is. You can throw the ball around and do this and that, but if you're not good up front and you can't consistently control the line of scrimmage, you're not going to be a good offensive team. I don't care what scheme you run or how you run it. And so it starts with those guys up front, and we got some really good players up front that believe in what we're doing, that bust their tail. They're to the point now we're not just doing just enough. We're trying to dominate and finish blocks, which is extremely important. And we got some really good, talented guys that can run the football behind those guys.
Absolutely. And Coach, you know, you said something to me Friday night about coaching, and you know, you're down to coaching the small number of mistakes that you see, and the players are receiving that. A little short story. I spoke to one of your offensive linemen. I told him, great game, man. I watched you do a lot of dominating blocks. And he goes, I didn't do this and this. It was the first thing out of his mouth. Not like, hey, I did a great job. You're right. It was, I didn't do this one and I didn't do that one. So to me, it's like he understands that would have made his night better. And I think that comes from a player who's dedicated, who's committed, and from a really well-coached player.
Yeah, well, Coach Jackson, you know, he can't be here tonight, and he hadn't been here the last couple of weeks, but he just does a great job with our offensive line. And then this year I was able to get Coach Jacob Lovelace back, who's here tonight, who was with me for most of my career, but has been gone for the last 6-7 years. But just he's done a great job of coming back into our program. He understands what we want. And then Cross Colley, who played for us 3 years ago as well, does an outstanding job. And they're getting some really good coaching by those guys.
Well, Coach, it shows. I'll tell you, our team is playing at an extremely high level. I said this last year, and I'm going to say it again tonight. I think this team has a chance to be another very special team. I think they're special right now and could be better. We appreciate you very much putting up with all our foolishness and joining us all the time and answering questions. So we're going to give you an opportunity tonight to just take us out as you always do, if you don't mind.
Yeah, on Halloween night, it's still great to play for the CNEA.
Folks, we'll be right back after a short break. Thanks, Coach.
Newman's Farm Supply, located downtown on the square in Lafayette. Contact them at 334-864-7006. Family owned and operated since 2011, Newman's carries feed for all of your animals. Tucker Milling, Sports Mix, Value Pack, along with deer feed, corn, hay rolls, alfalfa bales, pine and wheat straw. Newman's is also an FFL dealer. Newman's also reminds everyone to get their CA gun raffle tickets. Raffle starts November 1st. DTA, Daniel Towing and DTA, Daniel Towing and Automotive. Need a tow? Need some mechanical work? Contact Lee and Sandy Daniel at 334-863-4252. Serving East Alabama and West Georgia. You call, we haul. DTA, Daniel Towing and Automotive. Proud supporters of Rebel Athletics. DTA Towing.
All right, folks, and welcome back here to Monty Alvin. We're going to wrap up the Coaches Show for this week. It was an interesting conversation we had. You had a great group of special guests earlier in the show, and thanks for them to coming up and talking to us.
Weren't they outstanding?
They were
Really
great,
outstanding.
great. Some very nice, well-spoken young ladies there. Again, those girls work very hard at their craft, so make sure that you're watching them and congratulating them on all the hard work they do. So, folks, we're going to see you guys tomorrow. We're going to head down to Abbeville, the 2-hour trip down there. If you can't make it, catch us here on Chambers Academy Sports Live. We'll come on the air about 15 till 7 to catch up on everything going on down there from Abbeville. So, folks, you guys have a very safe Halloween, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Chet.